me tell you what it has to do with my contract. Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. It has nothing at all to do with my contract. What it has to do with is the character of the man named D.L. Hughly. That's what this has to do with. And let me acknowledge D.L.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. We are talking to you guys about Monique and DL situation. I had to go and watch several videos to go and get an inkling of what was actually happening because I had no clue what had been happening. And let me tell you, baby, let me tell you something. Warfare has taken place between these two, and warfare is ensuing. But I gotta say, when in warfare, there are certain tactics that are more guerrilla than others. And when you go guerrilla, the chances are a lot of people can compare your guerrilla tactics to the actual offense, and they can see that defense doesn't match the guerrilla tactics. And I think in this particular case, Monique is using certain tactics that are guerrilla warfare that don't need to be employed. But I also want to have a real conversation because there is a real situation here where Monique has gone through a lot, but I need her to now begin to open her eyes to see that all that she has been through, returning fire the way she thinks she should at this particular moment with bombs, the way she's dropping them, darling, if you're going to bomb somebody, keep it strictly on the area you're bombing. You don't get to bomb other countries. We're not involved. Okay. I know that they are part and they know there are people that know DL Hughly, but I need you to keep it on DL Hughly if you're going to fight that way. If you're going to go that way and that route, you got to keep it strictly on DL Hughly. And when you start dropping other things, especially things that you've been through, you don't realize you're opening up a whirlpool of darkness to consume you. Okay, baby, I don't agree with everything, I don't agree with everything that DL Hughley has done, but let me be frank with you, baby. At this point, we're gonna need to look at things a bit differently. Okay. So if you're new to the channel, do me a massive favor, like it, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for the notifications of the uploads. We appreciate you. Stay locked and stay loaded. If you're returning, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Stay hydrated because the streets out there are hot. All right, cool. So just talking about DL Hughley and Monique situation. Um, Let me be very frank with you, let me be honest with you, let me be real with you. Um, I watched several videos, and you know what? At the beginning, I actually understood what Monique was trying to do. So years ago, when she came out originally and was talking about the injustice that she faced, especially as a black woman, we were there, right? We were with you. We wanted to we were rooting for you. You know what? Some people were having pushback, but you know what? You were on the right path. When you were telling old boy and some of the boys in power and some of the Oprahs and the what's his name? Something Lewis or whatever, and Steve Harvey, when you were telling them about their treatment towards you, yes, I totally understood what you were saying. We were with you. We were rooting for you. We wanted to see you win. We wanted to see you take over the world. When you were complaining about Netflix originally, we wanted to see you win. Boycott Netflix. We understood what you meant. Okay. Now, in regards to what DL Hughley has done, it feels like it's less about DL Hughley and about what DL Hughley represents. You know, I said this about the men last time when I was talking about the dating, the young girl, and how the men reacted to that young girl rejecting a nuclear physicist. I think the same things happen here. DL Hughley has become a proxy for black men who have hurt her in the past. I think the extra energy that she has for DL Hughley is not necessarily about DL Hughley, and it's more about what he represents. Okay. Now, being very frank, DL Hughley, as always, is a comedian. And I think this is also bringing up a really interesting situation we've seen. Will Smith with Chris Rock, T.I. with another investor. We've seen now Monique, DL Hughley. Jokes are not free anymore, guys. Can I be honest with you? Personal jokes are no longer free. Personal jokes are no longer free. This is the lesson I want people to start learning now. As much as I don't agree with Monique, what she's done, can I just say again? Personal jokes are no longer free. We are no longer in the season of personal jokes being free. Okay, that was then. We could do that in the 90s, could do that in the early 2000s. Okay, probably can get away with it up to the 2010s. We are now in a new season where you cannot get away with making personal jokes. They are not free anymore. Chat get banged. This is what we're learning. All the personal jokes can no longer run. The season is done. There was a time and a season where jokes could run like that for free and people would just have to deal with it. They couldn't catch you in a rebound. They won't see you in time. Now, personal jokes no longer can run. Lesson number one, no matter who you are, stop the personal jokes. Because it's people are catching heat from it. You know what I mean? People are catching a lot of heat from it. Now, aside that, I even play a little clip, of the situation as well. So let me just bring this clip as well up, because I think there was a lot of things that were shared in terms of this situation. But okay, let's bring this. DL Hughly talks on this situation. So let's have a look. Yeah. I don't want to go to that part just yet. Let's go to this one. Okay.
You didn't play Precious. You didn't play Precious's mother. You let her out. You stopped pretending to be human, and you won a role for being you won a Oscar for being exactly who you are. Who says they love women and are there for women and protect the babies and would trot out someone's sexual trauma just to use in an argument? I don't know anything about you. I know that what happened to you when you were a child, what happened to you when you were growing up, those things are traumatic to you, and I would never bring them up. Never. It would never occur to me to do it, because that's not where I live. That's not what I do. You have had this argument or this show be about everything. It was about a contract. It was not. It was about an insult on the radio station, on my radio station. The question never aired. You know it never aired. And you continue to have this. And then you have the temerity to answer my daughter's letter with an invitation to come on my show. I will never let you on my show. Never. You will never talk to my children. I will never have anything to do with me. You do not exist. Maybe leaving my children out of your mouth will leave you room for the food you love so much. Look, you can continue to do whatever you want to me. That is fair game. I'm in this business. For you and your husband to continue to do things like this, you have already, first it was a contract. You've attacked everything. The dog, my wife, now my children. Enough. You do not exist to us. You don't get to break my family. You don't get to do that. I don't know if you ever had a man who loved you as much as I love my children. I don't know if you've ever had anybody who's standing in your stead, because the man next to you damn sure ain't doing it. All he's doing is wrecking what's left of the rubble of a career that you're pretending to build, trying to build back. Leave my children alone. Stay with me and we're fine. You're a horrible woman. You love women like Ike loves Tina. Now that girl over there, I shouldn't call you a girl, this woman over here, you know one thing for sure. I love you. And I'd never let it. And I'm your daddy for real. And you don't have to pay me for it. One day I hope that you're happy and you can stop being such a miserable, low human being. Maybe.
Ooh, Chile. Chile. Okay. Whoa. It's a lot right now. I'll be honest with you. Okay, cool. So listen, I think there's a bit and parcel of both parties here moving mad. But like I said, here's my thing. I don't know the full story. I don't think we all do, right? Okay. I'm gonna say several things. I'm also very much aware that not everybody does the healing work that's necessary to be able to react in the appropriate manner. So I'm going to say this for anybody listening to this. if you know you've been attacking someone in the early years for a very long time, you better be careful what you recuperate from that person, because not everybody's got a healthy heart. That's what I say, right? You got to be careful what you put into the atmosphere, because what's going to come back can be detrimental. Now, Monique has got it out for all the men that have ever said anything about her, right? And I don't know what kind of level he has said about her to be tough. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the full extent of what he's actually ever said about her, right? She said that he's spoken about her mental health. He's spoken about how big she is and made jokes about how fat she is and and all this kind of stuff. Okay, all right. So, but I'm gonna tell you this again, right? Y'all got to be so careful what you lot are doing and put into the atmosphere, attacking people. When you see, I ain't gonna pretend and gaslight the situation and be like, well, it was in the past, so let it go. You're a fool if that's what you think people are gonna do, right? Now, what I'm saying to you is, I'm talking about several parts of this situation because I want to break the different components. This is one aspect. Because again, I don't agree with what Monique did, and I'm going to really break that down because there's a reason that amount of brokenness to go into what she did. That's a deep thing what she did. But I want to start off with this first part. The first part is this: y'all need to really be careful how you start attacking people early days, right? You think it's fun and games until the person wants to hit you back. And I keep saying this: when you hit people, be ready because they might hit you in a different way. I don't agree with it. And now we're seeing what Monique is doing. I don't agree with this. I really don't. You know, it's really not funny. It's not funny. You know what I mean? And so for me, looking at the situation, that's the first and foremost thing. Be careful what you say, because what comes back is a difficult thing. Number two, as someone's put here as well, right? It is not about a contract, but it's about the contract used as a proxy for what it really is about. I'm angry at not only you, DL Hughly. I'm angry at the fact that you're a black man. I'm angry at my family issues, because I know also she was also sexually assaulted when she was younger and sexually violated when she was younger, right? By her family members. So by her family, one of her family members. So there's already an anger that's there. There's an anger that's already there that is already brewing from a past pain, and this on top just causes the explosion, right? This on top causes explosion, and that is what I'm saying, right? This is what I'm saying, that we have to be very careful. That now, Monique, you're trying to get them back. You don't lose yourself. See, you're a comedian, so you should really be using comedy as your way to get these people back, because any other way just looks real tacky and dangerous. And then it's a very slippery slope how far you go. Right? Now, DL Hughly isn't the main construct of your anger. And I'll tell you why, because you went off course real quickly. Right? You've displaced your anger for who it really is meant for, and it's gone down a very tricky road. Like I said, I'll say it again. In warfare, people war in different ways. But if you start a war, be very careful someone doesn't come with nuclear weapons versus your firing of torpedoes, right? But at the same time, we then have to look at you when you're about to use a nuclear warhead and go, well, why are you deciding to go to guerrilla warfare tactics? Now we're going to have to look at you some type of way. But we'll break that down in a second. I want to play the next clip. Okay, I want to play the next clip. All right. I'll play this clip. And I'll play this clip because I think it just kind of highlights some things importantly as well. So this is DL Hughly talking about the situation with his daughter as well.
Oh yeah, I swear to God. See, people only hear what they want to hear.
Yeah.
Like I had known this for a long time and said it a long time ago. I remember I was on Tom Joyner's show. He's the one that got me my radio show, and I was on his show, and I told him, don't talk about Mr. Cosby. They have this idea, like you can be like I said, you can be profane, you can be profound, he's a lot of it. He's a humorist.
Yeah.
He's benevolent. He's a humorist. He's a humanitarian. And he's a rapist. That's the way that you can be all them.
To be all
You
those.
can be, man, I lived next door to a dude, man. He took me to the free clinic. He told me about life. And he also was raping his daughter the whole time and went to jail. So it's to me, he's always gonna be the dude who did everybody's do it. How come when people do stuff like this, they're always above reproach, nobody ever believes them, and then it's always a lot of victims. And it's always and the reason it hits home to me is because my youngest daughter said something happened to her, and because it was somebody I liked, I didn't believe her. And I'll never get that back. She'll never. I'm supposed to protect her, and I'll never get that back. That she told her father something, and he didn't do nothing about it because it was inconvenient. So I could see how that could play.
Right.
And there's so many everybody wandering around why women are mad and why people are like that. Look at the shit they go through.
Yeah.
Like when she said on Color Purple, a girl child ain't safe in the family for the men. That's fucking true. And it's just that he is categorically everybody you ever see is like priests who are above reproach, or coaches who are above reproach.
Right. Teacher.
Nobody, teacher, they would never. Why are you somebody's boyfriend? I watch out with you. And he played on that, and to this date, he's never said he didn't do it.
Now, DL eldest daughter, Ryan.
All right, cool. So, whew. Yeah. So, okay. So the reason why I brought this up, is because, first of all, sorry, I apologize. I didn't give a trigger warning. I do apologize. Anybody watching, I'm so sorry. I should have given a trigger warning before I started. I just realized as I was doing a video clip that I didn't put a trigger warning. So once again, I do apologize, guys. Trigger warning, because we are going to talk about some things that will trigger if you've been through sexual violence and sexual assault as well. Okay. Here's the situation. D.L. Hughly said some really key words here, right? That he himself went for a situation where he didn't believe his daughter had gone through what she had gone through. And he will never get that time back. He regrets it. He hates the fact he's ever been in that position, right? And it was, he explained it was another young man that did that to his daughter. So it wasn't a grown man. And I think in the description that Monique gave, she gave a description that a man did this to her daughter, but actually it was another 13-year-old, and she was 13-year-old. So it was another young boy who did this to his own daughter. And so I think he used the thing saying that's what young boys just do. Okay. And so Monique twisted the story to make it more of a man did this. Now, before I get onto Monique, I'm kind of just bringing a summation of different clips together so we can understand where it's coming from. It's tight because what Monique has also gone through, DL has also witnessed with his own daughter. And then he goes on to say, why wouldn't Black women be so, I guess, broken or hurt when they go through things like this? And I'm like, looking at him going, you're right, right? But then does that mean now you're going to have to take that same stance with Monique? Just a food for thought. Just a food for thought. Just a food for thought. Well, now you, as you said, you understand the plight. Does that mean you're also going to have to take a different stance with dealing with Monique? Because you know exactly what she's going through. Right? You know exactly what she's going through. You know exactly what's happened to her, right? And now you're now on the brunt of the end of it. I'm just saying. It's a consideration. It's not saying he has to, but it's a consideration. Now let's come on to Monique in terms of what she's actually done. Right? I would have backed Monique to have this argument with DL Hughly. Because, of course, look, if you're going to talk about, creating equality, if you want to create equality, you want to deal with Black women getting the same benefits as Black men and white men and white women. I get it. I think we can all understand that point of view. Where it goes left, and it goes left real quick, where it goes left real quick is that in a beef between me and you, in a beef between me and you, right? In a beef between me and you, right? It's between me and you. Now, for Monique then to bring in a situation that has nothing to do, I shouldn't say nothing, but it is not concerning the warfare that me and you are having, and bring her whole daughter who has gone through sexual violence and assault and bring it into the spotlight in this particular way, in this particular manner. Not that it wasn't already out. The information was already out, by the way, because he said it. But then to drag it out in this manner and present it in this manner in front of the world in this particular way is a huge problem. Right? Is a problem. That's why I'm not talking about the wife being involved. I hear what you're saying, sis. I said the exact same thing. His wife getting a little bit of it as well. We understand it's part of the process, right? But the daughter experiencing what she experienced, similar enough to what you experienced. Why would you do that? Why would you bring that back into the fold? Why would you bring that information and repackage it in this particular manner, in a beef aspect? Not that you were saying, oh, look, do you know what? It's so sad that girls go through this, and we want to help young girls like this. No, you brought it into a manner of warfare. That's a very dark corridor to be walking down. It's a dangerous corridor to be walking down. And it's a disgusting corridor to walk down too. Because what you're saying is you don't have no level to this warfare. Right? And now, and you have to look at it as well. Listen, if you had gone after, you went after his wife a little bit. You said, oh, imagine a wife has to perform a sexual act on a coward. That was you going after the wife. Fine. You went after the wife. I get it. She had to take a little bit of stick. He's gone after your husband a little bit as well. It is what it is, right? That's the warfare. But to bring the daughter into the situation, right? To bring the daughter in the situation really says how dark you are. Right? It really says how dark you are. So that then lets me feel like there is healing that's needed 100 times over for Monique, because she could not discern in that moment not to bring up that piece of information as a way to prove her point. That's a brokenness and a hurt and to be honest, there's a level of maliciousness intent in that. Let's be real. There's malicious intent in that. That's dark energy for you to go to that level. Listen, I'm going to say it again. If you punch someone in the face, you don't know what can come back. But then now we get the opportunity also to observe the punch you give back. And we're not going to look at it and be like, well, that had some really deep, dark, malicious intent behind it. Right? Because you utilize somebody else's trauma and used it as a weapon to attack him. Not knowing how that would also affect the young girl too, who actually was involved with it. So this is not DL Hughly doing this to someone. This is DL Hughly not believing his daughter. And yeah, I'm telling you, listen, this situation, you've gone past the point of going too far. Right? You know what you should and shouldn't be saying. How much is too far? You want to call DL down low? Fine, that's a joke that you can make. You want to talk about his hairline? Talk about his hairline. You want to say how ugly he is? You want to say how ugly he is. You want to see he broke? You want to say he's broke. Make those jokes. Fantastic. Make them type of jokes, babe. Go ahead, do it, because that's what you guys do. That's within the remits of the comedic rounds. But to go after the daughter And you said it had nothing to do with the contract. Let me play the clip again. Had nothing to do with the contract. So now it just maligns your character. It just shows that you don't have no limits.
Them are from Black, and they're saying Monique, what does this have to do with your contract? What does this have to do? You're going too far. What does this have to do with your contract? Let me tell you what it has to do with my contract. Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. It has nothing at all to do with my contract. What it has to do with is the character of the man named D.L. Hughly. That's what this has to do with. And let me acknowledge, D.L. Hughly did apologize. He said he apologized. And y'all are saying, Monique, he owned his mistake. Let me say this to you. Though he owned it, it does not erase the trauma. And when we talk about the character of the individual, for years, D.L. Hughly has given his commentary and his opinion on other people's lives, not just mine, for years.
Now, darling, you know, the pain that you're going through, the trauma that you've experienced, what you've been subjected to has caused you to not be able to see that where at this point and conjuncture you've gone too far. The pain and the bitterness and the unforgiveness that you have in your heart is causing you not to see you're gone too far. Hey, I'm all about warfare, and I said it again. Listen, I'm gonna say it again. If you bang somebody in the face, hey, you can't complain if they decide to go and do something else crazy. But even that, you know, when we have those situations where you have a fight on the playground, two people are fighting, someone else finishes the fight, goes and get a knife or a gun, you've gone too far. You're having a fist to fist, and you've gone out to go and get a knife and a gun. You've gone too far. So listen, there is a level of resilience, a level of tolerance we have to have, and you're gone too far, sis. Yeah. And what's the problematic situation is that your pain now is being used as the weapon, and it's giving you the justification for what you're doing. But let's be very frank and very honest, sis. Let me be very frank and very honest with you. Your husband's also not helping you, because at this conjunction point, if my wife was to, I'd have been, hey babe, hey, where are we going? Stop this. Camera off. Pew. No, what's going on? No. I can see beyond. I can see beyond that. This thing that you're about to go into is gonna get dangerous. So let me give you reason. Let me give you an example why I'm saying this. Right. So if you followed me for a long time, right, you guys would have known that I did some stuff around churches and stuff like that. I was talking about certain church practices that are really, really bad. Right. I made it a point when I was trying to combat certain false Christian ideology, not to attack the person's character, and just to talk about the preaching that they did. I'm not about to try and get into about whether you and your wife are doing this or whatever. I don't want to get into that. I want to talk about the word. And the reason being is when you get into other areas outside of what you're supposed to be talking about, it gets real sticky, real quick, real fast. And when you sling mud at some people's situation like that, right? Just remember you have to pick up mud to throw it. So you got dirt on your hands. The issue here is that your warfare should have been on the contract. Your warfare should have been with D.L. Hughly. Your warfare should have been about him. And then you've dug up other things. And now when you're throwing that mud, we're now looking at you and your character. We're not looking at DLs anymore. Right? We are no longer looking at D.L. Hughly's character. I don't know if you've noticed, Monique. We are no longer looking at his character. We're now looking at yours. Right? This situation should have been sorted out behind the scenes. Better yet, it should have turned into maybe a comedic shtick of a one night bonanza where you might have even had some jokes against each other. Fantastic. Make money, at the same time, I get a little few jokes out. It might have been a little bit of low blow. All right, cool. Go about your business. Get your money, get a few low blows in there and a couple of jokes. Bedonage. But now you've gone to a place where you're unrestrained, and it's a situation where sis, we need you to understand that you're off course. And the thing is, a husband should have been pulling, and this is why I say, you need men that are strong. This is why you need men that have wisdom. No men that just follow and do nonsense. You need a man that can actually tell you, hey, babe, this is off. And vice versa. A woman that can tell you that is off as well. Right? So, this situation now, yeah, especially when I think the thing that frustrates me most is the fact that you've gone through this. You've gone through sexual assault. How do you not see that doing this is one step too far? Right? How do you not see? And why is her husband just looking at her and agreeing and just going with it?
About how his daughter was violated from a really good friend of his. And at the time, he didn't say anything because he didn't want to jeopardize that relationship with a really good friend. And he didn't believe his daughter. We posted that. And then we left a caption under that, pretty much saying, if that black man couldn't put any protection around his own daughter, we know we have nothing coming. Now, once we posted that, the reason why I said, Daddy, can we go do a live? Because I was reading the comments on the timeline. And most of them are from black. And they're saying, some, Monique, what does this have to do with your contract?
Hey. Yes, peak. Yeah. It's a bit messy. Yeah, that's messy, man. That's messy, man. Because again, it was used in a warfare about a contract. Like, babe, don't you see? No. If it had been separate, if it had been a case of, you know what, he didn't protect his daughter, this is sad to see. But you used it in warfare. That's the problem. You know what I mean? So you can't even be like, I was just putting it out there because, wow, that's crazy. You used it in warfare. We can't cover that up, man. Monique, you need to sit down. You need to sit down and heal immediately, because this is dark. This is disgusting. This is abysmal. This is rude. This is soul destroying. This is traumatic for the other person involved. I'm not even thinking about DL. I'm thinking about his daughter. And at that point, you give so much more ammunition to the other side. Now, anything you said, even in the past, we're now looking at. Now we're looking at everything, even in the past, as being this issue. You see, when we look at Will Smith's situation with is it Janet Hubert? Is it Janet Hubert? Have I said it right? Herbert? Have I said it correctly? I hope I've pronounced the name properly. I'm just making it up in my head. But when we look at the situation with Will Smith and Aunt Viv, the original Aunt Viv, she was blackballed. She was alienated. She was also put as the angry black woman, you know, and she went through some things. She did. Aunt Viv went through some things. You know what I mean? And she had every right to be angry. If she decides to come back out and be like, listen, Will, I still think you're a dick. You know, but I think we would all have been like, well, it is what it is. But yeah, she had to call him that. We know there would have been some cussing coming her way. Right? Some cussing that would have been coming Will's way. Right? Cool. We get it. But it would have been low blow of her to go and choose something like this to attack Will with. You know what I mean? You have every right to be angry, but how you utilize your anger is the next step. You have every right to be frustrated, hurt, you know, but how are you going to utilize you this has been going on for you've been carrying this for a long while. And now you're speaking, you're just literally trying to destroy everything in sight. That tells you everything you need to know, Monique, that there's still a need for healing. There's still a place for healing. There's still a need for healing. Because your response needs to be measured. You're coming out like a wild berserker and destroying everything in sight. And sis, it's backfiring on you. It's big time backfiring on you. Because now we're looking at Monique and we're saying, Monique, everything you've ever said now, we got to reconsider it. Maybe you are as difficult as you said. There's another way to play this game. There's another way to play this game. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to come at DL Hughly, come at DL Hughly. You're a comedian. Use your comedic skills. Do you know what I'm saying? You're a comedian. Use your comedic skills and talent to hit him back where it hurts. That's what we need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need to be doing. That's the way we're going to go at him. We're going to use a comedy as a way out. We saw how Dave Chappelle handled it. When Dave Chappelle was talking about people trying to offering money, he said he made a whole joke about it, a whole skit about it. I went away. I went away in our head. You know, so yeah. I'm disappointed, man. Yeah. I'm disappointed. So she needs to go and look at herself and reconsider, you know. But we'll see what happens the next few days. We'll keep tabs on it and we'll update you guys as well. Well, we've got another live in a few minutes. We'll talk about Love and Marriage DC. We'll talk about Ashley and talking also as well about Ashley and DJ Quick. It'll be a nice short live, probably about half an hour. And we'll talk about the show as well. Listen, again, Monique, going to the mat and using guerrilla tactics to nuke your opponent, that ain't the way to go about it, baby. That ain't the way to go about it. Don't be using people's kids in this, man. That's a no-go zone. People don't play with their kids. So Monique, please go sit on the bench, heal, because what you're doing right now is disgusting. And I don't want you to go down you're already on a dangerous slope slipping. I need you to look at where you're going to. You know what I'm saying? There's low blows and there are absolutely breaking of the rules. And this is one of them. So appreciate you guys. We're back in a few minutes talking about Love and Marriage DC. And we'll see you guys very, very soon. We appreciate you. Stay locked and stay loaded. Much love and appreciation. Little black.